Good afternoon. All right, so today I'm going to be teaching you guys a little bit about phytonutrients and how to enhance your health by getting all the colors of the rainbow in your food, right? So this is one of my kids' favorite. It is a recipe of my own design, not remaking anyone else's. And we just call it rainbow rice. So when we lived in Thailand, we discovered that the kids really loved fried rice. They just thought it was great. It was very kid friendly. If you're interested in Thai food at all or Thai recipes, you should totally check out my Teachable account, my Teachable school, I guess they call it, where I do an entire course on Thai food and how to eat for your health and wellness while enjoying amazing, delicious Thai food. So something that I noticed in Thailand and I learned from an actual cooking teacher there was that kids do a lot better when it comes to getting their veggies if they're chopped small and they're uniform. So as you're gonna see later when I get to cooking on the stove, and I'll drag the camera over there, is that all of the veggies that I've selected are almost identical in size. And that's just a practice with knife skills and things like that. And I'll do other courses on knife skills, I promise, because that's a lot of trouble for a lot of people. It's kind of a stumbling block. But chopping the veggies small and uniform is a great way to get them into your kids, and you'll be shocked at what you can mix into a big thing like this, and kids will let you get away with it. So, or yourself if you're a picky eater. Also, it's really yummy, easy way to get all of those phytonutrients. So what are phytonutrients? Phytonutrients are the chemical compounds in plants that protect the plant from free radical damage, from fungi, from germs, from all kinds of stuff. And that chemical has those chemical compounds, phytonutrients, have been proven to increase our own health dramatically. It does the same thing for us as it does for the plant. It protects us from oxidative stress. It supports our mitochondria and our energy producers in our cells. And each single color, if you look at all phytonutrients, they've all been shown to reduce your risk of cancer, right? Because they promote good health, cellular health. Each color independently has been shown to have its own unique benefit, whether it's hormone support, whether it's digestive health, or skin, like elasticity and good collagen synthesis, so many crazy things. So if you have a concern, you should Google it. Don't do the Dr. Google thing, but look it up in correlation to phytonutrient health. Another super easy way to increase your phytonutrients, besides chopping veggies small and throwing them in a bunch of stuff, right, is to use herbs in your cooking. This cost me $1.40. This one was like less than that. Herbs have a different unique structures, and one of those three phytochemical structures are flavonoids. For bang for your buck, if we're talking a tablespoon of herbs versus a tablespoon of basically any other veggie or something like that, legume, you're getting more flavonoids and phytochemicals per ounce in herbs than just about anything else. So chuck in some basil or some mint or some parsley or some cilantro. The options are endless, and the flavor profile goes through the roof, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm not a bad cook. I had the wrong tools. I was just using salt and pepper all the time. So this is my rainbow rice recipe. I love using fresh garlic, and you can totally go to the store and you can buy the little jug of garlic. That's totally fine. You're allowed to do that, but there's something different about the flavor when you're using fresh, whole, kind of started from whole at least, ingredients. And so we're gonna mince this garlic really small. I say more is better with garlic. Usually I say less is love. That's kind of my catchphrase that I got from this awesome book on supporting different ADHD children and Chinese archetypes and those kind of things. Less is love. I'll post a link in the comments since I totally just stole that guy's catchphrase. But I think in general less is love, except for when it comes to garlic. I think more is love. And so I'm going to dice this garlic after you mash it, if you didn't notice that. You kind of mash it with the heel of your palm to get the little skin to flop off, and then you just dice it really small. When it comes to garlic in dishes, I say a clove per person. I don't know. I hate measuring, as you're going to kind of notice here in a minute. And so I use what I have on hand. When I'm looking to make a rainbow recipe, right, I'm like, okay, we have been missing out, or kids are getting sick, or, we have been eating less than desirable food for a while, and I'm like, okay, we need to up the rainbow quantity, right? I'm looking for about equal parts to whatever the main part is. Ooh, garlic husk in the rice. So I have some brown rice here that I gave you a little tutorial on before, like with the lemon and the soaking. Soaking your rice with some kind of acid beforehand, especially the whole grain version, right? The brown rice, which has the husk on the outside, that's where a bunch of the nutrients are in the rice, is going to make it so much fluffier. It's going to cook faster. It's going to have a better texture, not so chewy like that brown rice you normally get. It's going to be light and delicious. So that's a trick of getting your family to enjoy some more whole grains as well. We vacillate between white and brown rice and not like hardcore into one or the other. Brown rice definitely has, right? It's the whole grain, so it's got more good stuff in it, but it also has more not great stuff in it when we talk about, you know, arsenic in the water and things like that. So we go back and forth, but when I make this dish, I always use brown rice, because if I'm making something like, you know, Mexican rice or something like that, can't really pull it off with the brown rice. You gotta use the white rice. So we're gonna get 1 clove of garlic per person. I've got about 1/2 cup of cooked rice per person that I'm feeding, and I'm just looking for the equivalent in veggies. So if I've got 4 cups of rice, I'm looking for about 4 cups of veggie stuff, of our rainbow ingredients. I've used onion, red pepper, carrots, zucchini, red pepper, red onion, but in a small quantity because it's very strong tasting. I've got some yellow tomatoes here, which those are the biggest thing I've chopped in there because I know I'm going to have somebody in my family pick out the tomatoes, so I'm making them a little bigger for them. I might dice up some cabbage, right? That's another one of our purple red category here. For sure going to chuck some basil in there, but you can be creative, like whatever floats your boat color-wise. You could use mango, right, for the orange. You could use pineapple for the yellow. You can change it up. You've got your different bell peppers. You've got all kinds of options that you can go to kind of fit what fits your family. You're just looking for increasing your color, right, in your diet, and that's going to really increase your health and your longevity. There's just plenty of research out there. Or I'm super distracted peeling this garlic. So I'm going to dice up garlic. That's going to be in our thing, about 1 per person. I'll teach you a hack about ginger. Ginger fresh is amazing. You can absolutely get the powdered version, but when we're talking about phytochemicals, right, and phytonutrients and flavonoids and all these things, the fresher they are, like not in a spice and minced or, you know, pre-done for you form, the more bioavailable those are going to be. So this is a pain. Ginger can be a super pain. A great hack is to use a spoon to get the skin off of the ginger. You'll be shocked. If you've ever tried to deal with ginger, it's a super pain. My favorite thing is that my husband gets on kicks of doing things, and so recently we had a bunch of ginger, like big hunks like this, that were gonna go bad before too long, and being the ever thrifty guy that he is, he peeled the whole thing, diced it up really small, like minced it like we would normally do. I think he cheated and used the chopper, but that's fine. You can cheat if you're if you need it. You're allowed. It's whatever you got to do, man, to make it work. And then he put it in the freezer and laid it flat in, and then froze it. And so now every time I need ginger, I just go in the freezer and pop a piece of, like a hunk of frozen ginger off, and then throw it into whatever salad dressing or marinade or stir fry or whatever we're using. And then you don't have to go to all the pain and agony of doing this process every time you need a little ginger, because this meal is one of my backup. That's like my ultimate backup plan. I make a batch of some kind of whole grain or 2 at the beginning of the week, and then just throw it in things as I'm going. I make a quinoa vegetable soup. You can see all of my vegan recipes and things like that. I'm not vegan, I'm just doing a detox class right now, and part of it is to learn how to use plant-based proteins and increase your phytonutrients. So there you go. So all those recipes are there on another course as well, which are just delicious. But so it's got to be easy. So this is the base, right? We've got our colors, change it up however you want. We've got our whole grain. You can easily add eggs to this dish or chicken. I always cook my rice with some kind of broth, whether it's a homemade veggie broth or a store-bought veggie broth, or bone broth or something like that. Add a little fat to it, like avocado oil or something like that, to really we're just looking to increase nutrient density, right? We want the food that we go to the effort to make or to buy to do the very best for us, right? Be the most beneficial. So we've got all of our colors here. Change them out however we want. We're looking for a 1-to-1 ratio of veg to grain. And I don't think there's anything else to teach you besides to actually show you how to do it. So let's make this thing. All right, sorry about the orientation shift, but it's the way it's gotta be. I did math, not really, I just looked at it, and I can't do it. So I've got a pan here, preheating. I like to add oil to a little bit of a hot pan. Don't scorch your pans, please, not on my account. If we're looking at detoxifying our lifestyle, right, and living an anti-cancer, healthful life, we do not need non-stick anything. There's plenty of data out there, it's not gonna help you out. I wish I was epic at cast ironing, like cooking, cast iron cooking, not ironing like an ironing board, but I'm not. And so I got a couple tablespoons oil in here. See, I'm getting nice and hot. When you're talking about smoke points with oils, you always want to use something that has a high smoke point if you're going to be sauteing and doing this level of heat. You don't want to use avocado oil. Coconut oil is decent, but I prefer something like avocado oil that has a really high smoke point, and it's going to make sure that you're getting all that good nutrient-y stuff in, right? Also, just a great source of fat. Excuse me, sorry. I don't have my wood one. Oh, here we go. I like using bamboo. I'm kind of snobby, apparently. So a big trick when you're cooking like a stir fry or anything like that, or sauteing stuff, is you add just a little bit. I'm so underprepared. You add a little bit of salt at each step. Hold on, right back. You add a little bit of salt at each thing you add in. Basically, our idea is that we're adding just enough salt to enhance the flavor. It doesn't need to be just full of salt. That's not the only, we want to enhance the natural flavors that are happening in here, right? So we're gonna start with our onions, obviously. We started with these yellow guys here, yellow white dudes. And then we're gonna add in our reds. We wanna get that bite out of it, especially if we're feeding kids or something like that. We wanna get all those all the way sauteed down. This is the step in which a lot of people would tell you to add your garlic here in a minute. We are not going to do that because we're learning about phytonutrients. And part of the idea of keeping the integrity and the flavor as well as the nutrient complex of the garlic available is going to be to add it towards the end. I know, blow your mind, right? So we're gonna add that sucker at the end. There's tons more of recipes that are like this, quick and easy, you know, nutrient dense, family friendly, all over between my YouTube, my Facebook, my Instagram. I'm terrible at being cohesive, so you better just go to all the places so you can find all the details. If we were doing like chicken or something like that in our what's this called that we're making? Fried rice. We would have added it first, right? We would have cooked the meat first, then added the onions and all that stuff. So you can absolutely do that. I make this dish a lot with pre-cooked chicken because, like I said, it's my backup plan. So if I've got, you know, cooked chicken in the fridge already, turn this down a little bit, then I will add it after I do the onions and things like that, and then get the veggies in and all that jazz. So these are just about right. You want them a little bit brown. We don't want them crunchy, right? Because it's going to be an onion bite. And that looks decent. And then we're going to go from the hardest, that's what she said, vegetable to the softest, because that's how long they're going to cook, right? So my hardest thing I have out here is the carrots, and I'm going to add those bad boys in and get them going. Carrots is a really friendly, like, child/picky person food often, and so it's a good go-to, especially if you get it all the way soft. For this dish, if you've got crunchy bits and the texture's not quite right, people are gonna like it less. So try to get it the same density. And that's gonna vary based on how hot you have in your stove, on how much fat you have in the bottom of the pan, on how ripe or underripe your veggies are. I usually go about 2 to 3 minutes per veg and then add the next one. But it's never a bad idea to just fish one out and give it a taste, or like the texture. It's gonna keep cooking, so you don't want it completely mushy by the time you add the next thing in. You wanna make sure that it's got a crunch left still to it, because the whole point of adding the crunchiest things in first is that they're gonna cook the longest, right? Because we're adding things. I mean, I might not be good at math, but I can figure that out. So we'll give this a couple more minutes. I have made this with just about every ingredient on the planet. You can put butternut squash in here. You gotta cook that a little bit longer. Cauliflower, if it's really small, especially, and it just gets soft and it doesn't taste like anything for the white, right? You have so many options. It's kind of like, look in your fridge and what do you have, and I'm gonna make rainbow rice for dinner, and the kids think it's fantastic. Or you've got then leftovers. One of my husband's favorite things to do is to use the leftover fried rice to fry up, to heat up the next day, and then do like over easy egg over the top with hot sauce or things like that. So lots and lots of options, and super easy. Literally, I'm doing the entire thing on camera. That's how easy it is. All right, we're gonna add our peppers next. They're the next hardest. Peppers are awesome because you can get like all the colors. You're like, oh sweet. I have a lot of people that don't tolerate green peppers very well, which is interesting. Green peppers are just basically unripe, all the other colored peppers. And so if you have an intolerance for green peppers, it doesn't mean all peppers are off the table for you. They are in that family called nightshades. Ooh, eggplant might be good. Ooh, I should try that as one of my purples sometime. That'd be a little slimy. That would probably be good. Well, but you have to peel the purple part off. Anyways, sidebar. And so, I don't know where I was going with that. Normally, I have a million things I'm doing all at once when I'm making this. Things that you can add in at the end that are big favorites around here are cucumber slices. I let my kids decorate it. Like if you push the fried rice into a bowl and then you stick it on a plate so it makes a mound, then you give them things to decorate it with, like little slices of olives or cucumber or cilantro leaves. You'd be shocked. A 6-year-old will eat a cilantro leaf if it's like hair on her little face, her fried rice face she made or something like that. So funny. All right, so we're getting softer here. We're at the zucchini level. This is something I make a lot in the summer because I have always too much zucchini. I don't know how it's possible. This year I was very intentional about planting a single zucchini plant instead of like 5, which yields thousands of millions of bajillions of zucchini. And this, yet we still have a billion. Well, not quite a billion. So we're getting close to the soft end of things. Tomatoes is gonna be a preference. They do make it a little watery. Some people think it's gross. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, I forgot my other ingredient. But you can easily find a color to make up for it. And you're not fired if you don't use all the colors. It's okay, so don't stress out. I'm gonna add the tomatoes very last. For me, I think even after the rice, because I just want them just barely heated up. I don't want them mushy. All right, so let's give this a go here. Good, hot. I'm just trying each one to make sure it's the cookiness. The one I really care about is carrot. The onion was for sure good. I do care a lot about the onion because nobody's gonna want to bite into a raw onion. Oh yeah, perfect softness. So that's as long as it took. What, 5.5 minutes? 6 minutes? Now we're gonna add our awesome nutrient-packed dudes, right? We've got our ginger and our garlic. You wanna make sure that the ginger is for sure cooked through because that's gonna be a bite. The garlic, I mean, we're just talking get it aromatic here. A minute and a half, 90 seconds. Ooh, that was yummy. The salt, just a teeny tiny bit of salt, especially mineral salt, like colored salt is what we're looking for. We don't want just plain old, just sodium, nothing else in it, right? We want all of this mineral complex that comes with colored salts. There's gray salt, there's pink salt, there's blue salt, there's rainbow salt. That one's fun. And that's gonna make it so that you don't have to really add much at the end it's just brought out the flavor of each thing. And I'm not talking like a teaspoon per thing. We're talking a pinch per ingredient. All right, you want to see? Looking rainbowy. Lovely. I didn't put the cabbage in. I could have. I should have. I didn't want to chop it up. I was out of gas. All right, so this is, right, we got aromatic stuff going on. It was starting to smell good, and it was starting to look a little brown, so I don't want to cook it much past that. This is the fried rice part of the fried rice. If you're using, this is a couple day old rice because I made it a while back. If your rice is clumpy, you can use your tamari, your coconut aminos, whatever your kind of soy sauce stuff is, to break up the clumps by squirting a little bit on there. But you can never add less. And it has a tendency to get very salty very fast. Ouch, the stove is hot. If I was making this with egg, which I do fairly frequently, this is often my mostly vegetarian night. And I do no meat, but I add, like, I'll make a hole in the middle like this, and then I'll throw a couple eggs in there and then scramble them into the mix, and then we've just increased the protein, right? So about this stage, I'm going to turn her off, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of either coconut aminos or tamari, some kind of gluten-free soy sauce kind of ingredient, to just wet it down a little bit and fry it up, and then it's going to get the stick stuff off the bottom. But I'm running out of time. So that's all, literally all there is to your rainbow rice. We're going to use lime as the garnish. We're going to use cilantro. Cucumber is delicious, right? Cold cucumber with the hot dish. We're going to use jalapenos and spice and chilies and whatever we need to, like, ramp it up. You literally have a phytonutrient dense, whole foods, vegan, if you're so inclined, super detox, healthy, amazing, quick and easy family recipe. That's all she wrote. Awesome. If you have questions, let me know below in the comments, or if you have more recipes that you'd like to see, go check out my Teachable accounts, and then you can see, or any of my pages of all the things I'm posting, and say, hey, teach me how to make that, and I will do it. Awesome. Have a great week, y'all.